Hello, my crafting friends. I have some all new rustic spring DIYs using thrift finds, so come craft with me. My name is Sarah, and welcome to my channel, Primrose Lane Brims. If you haven't done so already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button and crafting with me again in the future. And now let's jump right into these spring DIYs. For this DIY, I'm going to be using this wood cutting board I found at my local Goodwill. I paid $4.25 for it. And as you can see, this has seen better days. So I wanted to start off by cleaning it up really good. And as you can see, some of those cuts and stuff are really coming out. Like I said, this is a cutting board that has been around for a little while. There's even little bits of paint on little bits of it. And I left that on there though, because I think that'll just kind of add to the rustic charm. So I'm going to start off with my Waverly Antique Wax. And I just really want to make this look even more aged. So I'm just taking a dry paper towel and I'm just rubbing the antique wax down into all of these imperfections and around the edges. I really want to bring out all of the cuts, scrapes, bangs, bruises that this cutting board has seen over the years to start with. So as you can see some of these cuts even, they stand out a little more now in it. And I'm going to go in with a brush now and I'm going to start adding some darker spots of this antique wax. I want to go around the edges, around my corners, and I'm really going to focus on those cracks kind of in the wood there and just add some more darker age spots to this. I really want this thing to look aged, weathered, and just really old. Cutting boards are things I see all the time at my thrift stores, and most of them have seen better days. There are things I would be very hesitant to use in the actual kitchen for food safety purposes, but I love to grab them for crafting. Next, I'm going to take this little bundle of lavender. This is just a little bundle of lavender that I get off of Amazon. And I'm just going to cut a few of the sprigs. I'm not even going to use the whole bundle here. And I just want to take a few of these sprigs, put them together to make a just small little lavender bundle here. I'm going to take my thicker jute twine. This is just twine I get from Walmart. And I'm going to tie it really tightly to start off here to hold these together. I'm going to take the one side of the excess twine here. I'm going to wrap it around and glue it down to start with. And I will wrap the rest of these stems, but before I do that, I want to kind of lay these on my cutting board because yes, I'm going to be putting these in the center of my cutting board and just kind of measure these stems. I don't want them hanging down off the bottom. I don't want them bigger than the cutting board. So I just kind of wanted to place it to see how much of those stems I need to cut off before I finish wrapping this with my twine. And guys, my voice still sounds a little raspy. It is once again, I've still been fighting off this little cold. I think as I go along, even as I'm getting better, my voice is getting a little more hoarse. So I am sorry if I still sound a little scratchy. So I'm just gonna wrap this twine all the way down the rest of the little green stems that are sticking out, cut off my excess twine and glue it down. This is a really fun and inexpensive project because with these lavender bundles, I get these, I think 10 bundles is around $14 on Amazon, and I didn't even use one full bundle of lavender. So between the price of the $4.25 for the cutting board and a little bit of lavender, this whole project only costs just a few bucks, and it comes out so cute. But I want to dress up my little bundle of lavender a little more, just kind of plain with just the twine wrapped around the bottom. So I'm just going to take this little burlap ribbon. This is just from the Dollar Tree, little decorative burlap ribbon, and tie just a simple little bow here. Nothing too big, nothing too fancy. I want this kind of simple and rustic looking. And I'm going to add it, just hot glue it right here to the bottom of my bundle just to dress it up just a little bit. kind of fluff it up. I think I got my one tail a little longer than the other. Sometimes crafting upside down, it can be a little hard to tell. Now to attach my lavender, instead of using glue, I'm going to use my little staple gun here. I'm just going to kind of place it where I want it, dig down to the bottom, some of these bigger stems on the bottom, and add a few staples, and that's going to hold this lavender on here. It's not going to go anywhere. And the last thing I'm going to do is just going to take my twine and I'm going to pop a piece right through this top cutting board. I have a little way to hang it if I would want to finish this off. And that is it for this one. It is so simple, easy, budget friendly, but it turns out also rustic, spring, and cute. I have this sitting on my kitchen counter right now, and I absolutely love how it looks. For this next DIY, I'm going to be using this little teapot. It was $5.30. It was a little more pricey than what I would have liked, given that the whole top's missing, but anybody who knows me knows I have a thing for teapots, and I wanted to rescue this little teapot that was broken with no stem that probably no one else would really love. And I'm going to start off by just taking some hot glue and adding a piece of floral foam right down into this. We're going to give this little broken teapot a new lease on life. I'm going to use these little pampas grass stems. These are just the 97-cent stems from Walmart. I'm going to take 2 of these and I'm just going to rip them apart so that I can place them individually piece by piece where I want them. They rip apart super easy. And I'm going to take the actual pampas grass first. I'm going to trim it down just a little. It's a little too tall for what I'm wanting here. I'm going to add my pampas grass in the center because it's kind of the taller pieces. And when I do these little arrangements, I like to make the taller, put the stuff taller in the middle, and then go down, start filling in and around with the greenery. And if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to drop down and hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button, crafting with me again in the future. And also, if you're enjoying the video, be sure to hit that hype button. It's a free way to support creators and the videos you like, and so that YouTube knows to push the video out to new folks that have maybe never seen my videos before. It really helps my channel and I do appreciate it. So once I have all the little pieces of the pampas grass stems in, I'm going to take this little floral piece. This is a Dollar Tree one. And I'm not going to break this one apart. I'm just going to spread it out. I think these are so pretty. They almost have like kind of flocked look. And I'm going to add it right here close to the center too, in between those pampas grass stems and that greenery. And I'm going to add a second one on the opposite side. Now, these are florals that I also found at Goodwill. These are brand new florals. These are little stems. They were originally, this was $12.99 brand new. And the other one is the purple leafed eucalyptus, and it was $7.99 brand new. So both of these are never been used, brand new stems, and I got both of them for $3.99. So that's a really good deal. But I'm going to start off with the eucalyptus, and I'm just going to start cutting it apart and filling in and around my greenery, the pampas, wherever I see holes. This is what I'm going to really use to fill in. And what's nice about these is I can push the leaves up if I want to make the stem smaller so that I can really get down and around, fill in that bottom really good. And I'm not actually going to end up using this entire stem of eucalyptus. There's still a little bit left. So once I have that in, I'm just going to take some of these little purple, these aren't lavender, little purple berries almost, and pop them in and around just to fill in any other place that looks like it's just lacking a little bit. If you've never really messed with floral arranging before, these are really fun. I find it really relaxing to do. Just jump in and have fun with it. So you can see what this little teapot is looking like. I'm absolutely loving this. I love purple. Green and purple are my favorite colors. So to finish this off, I just want to add a little bit of Spanish moss right here around the rim. I'm actually going to put some hot glue right on the actual teapot itself around the rim and tuck it down into the teapot, but also just glue it right there on the edge. I want it to be seen, just to add that little bit of rustic charm to it. So this whole teapot, even though the teapot was $5.30, with the thrifted florals I used, the Dollar Tree florals and the Walmart florals, this whole project cost right around $10 to make, give or take a few cents. I didn't add it up specifically down to the dime, but around $10, $11 for this entire little teapot. And look how darling it turned out. It really has a touch of whimsy, almost a little cottage quality to it. I absolutely adore it. Now for this last DIY, I found this little primitive Saltbox house. It was $5.30. I think everything in my Goodwill is $5.30. It's like a standard anymore. This little thing was a little beat up. But tell me what are your Goodwills like kind of flat pricing everything no matter what it is? They're seem to be getting a little higher than what they used to be. But anyways, this little salt box house, I thought it was adorable, even though it's seen better days. It was kind of banged up a little at the top, but I thought, we're going to give this a new lease on life, cleaned it up, and I'm going to start off on this roof here. We're going to give it a coat of Waverly Antique Wax to start with. It doesn't show up quite as much as on the camera as I'm seeing it, I don't think, but it does darken this up just a little bit, and it covers those places where the paint has come off the metal, but it still shows the metal. Now, I went over top the chimney too. While I was at it, I'm just going to go over the entire thing lightly with my antique wax as well, just to kind of darken up this paint, just make it look a little more antiqued. So once I put it all over, I'm going back over just with a dry paper towel, just wiping off any excess, any place I had too much. I just want it to darken that paint, give it that antique look, that older look. I didn't want the paint quite so bright, and just to wipe off any excess. I didn't want big splotches of antique wax. It's kind of hard to see, but it really does give it a richer tone to the paint. And I also took my antique wax and I just kind of jammed my brush in all the little window holes too, because the black paint that was in there. There was little bits of red paint, apparently when this was originally painted, kind of eked over into the black a little bit. So I just kind of took my brush and went through all those windows and put just a little antique wax in those as well. Just kind of darkened up that black paint that was in there and any of the little red that kind of got in there when it was originally painted, and then wiped off any excess that I got all over the front again. Now for my roof, I want to take this a step farther. I want to give it almost a faux rust look. I want this to look like an old tin roof that's seen better days. It's rusted. So I'm taking my Mod Podge and my ground cinnamon. I'm gonna put a light coat, just a light coat. I'm not going wild with the Mod Podge on this one. Just a light coat, and then sprinkling a layer of cinnamon all over the whole thing. Shake off some of that excess. Some of it gets down onto the front. That's all right. Wipe it off. And And I'll repeat the process here on the back, the same thing. Kind of was just imagining this like an old farmhouse tin roof. Has anybody ever slept under an old tin roof during a thunderstorm? The sound that it makes, I can still hear that. It's like one of the most relaxing sounds in the world. But that's kind of what I was, an old tin roof like that on the old farmhouses. Uh, that's what I was kind of going for with this. This one though is rusty. It's not been painted in a while. It's just seen better days, like many old farmhouses. So once my cinnamon's on there, I'm gonna go back over it with one more coat of the Mod Podge. And I'm not really waiting in between letting it dry too long. I just kind of went right into it. And I'm just using another light coat. And your cinnamon might kind of move around a little bit, kind of make like a Mod Podgey paste, and it's going to mix in with that antique wax that's kind of down in there too, and that's okay. That's what it's going to do. It's going to come out looking kind of like a faux rust. At least that's the goal. And it smells really good too, so that's always a super bonus. Oop, I'm gonna left my cinnamon right my way. And of course I left the top open. So thankfully I noticed that because I nearly smacked it with my arm and made a huge mess. So let's move that out of my way before I make myself an even bigger mess to clean up in the end. I'll let that dry. And oh, like magic, it's dry now. The magic of the camera. But as you can see, this is what it looks like once it's all dried. That cinnamon is sealed in there. You're not going to have any flaking off anywhere, and it just gives it that old tone. You can even see some of the metal where it was originally, the paint was gone, sticking through there. So this old tin roof was rusted, but there's still just little bits there that, haven't quite fully rusted. I love how it turned out. Gave this little beat up Saltbox house a new look. So taking some fairy lights here, since this already had the hole to add lights in it to start with, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop my fairy lights right through here. I suppose since it's open on the bottom, I could have just tucked it all up underneath there, but I wanted to let my battery pack hang out the back so that I could easily turn it on and off and not have to lift my house up every time. You could also use a battery operated candle to pop in here too if you wanted to, but I just went with the fairy lights. This is just a little set from the Dollar Tree. Now, the Saltbox house sitting as it is on a shelf would be cute, but I wanted to add it to this little tin candle ring and some pitberries. I just took a pitberry garland, wrapped it around, and placed it just right in that little candle plaque and popped my house right in the center. And as you can see, the battery pack just tucks right there behind, so I can easily flip it on and off. And this looks oh so cute, just sitting on a side table, on a shelf. I love how this little once beat up Saltbox house turned out. You could also put it in like a little dough bowl with some potpourri. That would also be really, really cute. So drop me a comment, let me know which of today's little spring thrift flips was your favorite, or just to say hi. And be sure to hit that like button, and if you haven't done so, I hope you'll hit subscribe so that you can craft with me again. Don't forget to follow me on socials, and until next time, God bless and happy crafting.